O God of every race and nation, we give you thanks. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed on this beautiful class of 2019. We thank you for the promise you give to us through the prophet Jeremiah, who tells us that you have great plans for us and who reminds us to seek you always with all our hearts and promises that when we do, we will find you. Be with us today as we give you thanks for the blessings bestowed on this amazing class. Open our hearts to hear your words. Allow us to be inspired by Dr. Pierce. Help us today to know your love and fill our hearts with confidence, gratitude, and love. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Seniors, you made it. We can clap for that. There's a lot of clapping today. We can clap for that. Shortly, we will award a diploma to each of you, officially sending you forth to join the ranks of over 5 decades of Lumiere alums, out there in the world, making it a better place, each in their own unique ways. On an occasion such as this, it's only fitting to pause first and reflect on how much has gone into getting you to this point. You have done a heck of a lot of work, and you've demonstrated skills, talent, fortitude, and grit that have impressed all of us. You've grown, and that hasn't always been easy. You have failed and gotten back up to press on. You have celebrated momentous victories and also done hundreds of little unremarkable things that, when strung together, produce results. We commend you on all of it. It's also important to acknowledge that each of you is the person you are today because of a staggering amount of time, love, and attention that's been devoted to you and your formation, day in and day out, for the better part of 2 decades. I doubt you can comprehend the extent of their efforts or the fullness of their sacrifice. Nevertheless, let's take a moment to acknowledge our dependence on and gratitude for the folks who have made this all possible. Parents of graduates, would you please stand? Grandparents of graduates, would you please stand? Faculty and staff, would you please stand? And finally, trustees, past and present, would you please stand? Seniors, you have a veritable mob of people who care about you and are beaming with pride for what you've accomplished, and you deserve every bit of it. I'll now invite Andrew Hoyt, our Assistant Head of School for Academics, to present a few special awards.
Good morning. Today, I have the privilege of announcing the major school awards to students who have shown exemplary character, scholarship, and faith during their career at La Lumiere. We begin with the James R. Moore Scholar Athlete Award. This award is named for our founding headmaster, who established our school's commitment to holistic character formation that values both intellectual and athletic accomplishment. Each year, we recognize one male and one female student from the senior class who have demonstrated excellence in academics alongside exceptional performance in athletics. This year's recipients of the James R. Moore Scholar Athlete Award are Haley Catherine Harkness and Paxson Walter Wojcik. Next is the Head of Schools Award for Growth and Development, which recognizes students who, during their tenure at La Lumiere, have demonstrated remarkable growth and commitment to the ideals of the school, character, scholarship, and faith. This year's recipients of the Head of Schools Award for Growth and Development are Jillian Marie Butis and Nolan Mackenzie Howard. The Senior Award for Stellar Academic Performance is given each year to recognize the outstanding academic achievement of one student during their career at La Lumiere. This year's recipient of the Senior Award for Stellar Academic Performance is Annabelle Kiara Lake. The Senior Award for Service to Younger Students is given in recognition of a senior who has continually served and supported underclassmen in significant ways throughout the daily life and activities of our school community. This year's recipient of the Senior Award for Service to Younger Students is Amelia Ray Surma. And now for the One of Us Award. This honor is selected by a vote of the entire student body and is awarded to the seniors to whom they wish to say, "We appreciate you, we respect you, you are one of us." This year's recipients, Nicholas Hadrian Nadinger and Yakov Kukic. The Trustees Award for Leadership Based on Character is given to the senior student who has demonstrated exemplary leadership and character, whether or not they have held a formal elected office. This year's recipient of the Trustees Award for Leadership Based on Character is Savannah Linnell Starr. The Alan R. Hannon Unsung Hero Award is given each year in recognition of the student or students who, by quiet example, have worked to improve the quality of life here at La Lumiere. This year's recipients, Natalia Trejo-Bax and Guo Boachuan. Finally, the La Lumiere Alumni Memorial Award is given as a tribute to deceased alumni and students whose character, scholarship, and faith are respectfully acknowledged and fondly remembered. The award is bestowed in recognition of the senior who best portrays the La Lumiere ideal. And this year's recipient of the La Lumiere Alumni Memorial Award is Molly Linnen Capeless. So at this time, I would like to introduce our head prefect to deliver her address and receive a plaque in honor of her service to our community this year. So please join me on the stage, Annabelle Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Hoyt. Good morning, friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates. We, the class of 2019, could not have enjoyed the high school experience that we have without the gigantic support system that sits in this gym today. And for that, I would like to sincerely thank each and every one of you, but I don't think I have the time. And of course, actions speak louder than words, so instead I hope to make your investment of time worth it on this beautiful May morning with a speech that will hopefully give something to each of you. Now, we all know that a La Lumiere education is an investment of all sorts, but arguably the most important one for our future is the investment for our characters, for how to grow into the best versions of ourselves. With its 3 pillars, La Lu builds in each of us a heart of many virtues, but I believe that the most significant of these is gratitude. And I'm not alone in thinking this. In the Kronk's kitchen, a sign used to hang with a quote from Cicero that read, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others." So, according to Cicero, if we can manage to unlock gratitude, then other good things will follow. La Lu has already given us the tools that we need to embody gratitude, but it is on us, the class of 2019, to actively pursue it in our lives once we leave here. And there's so much to be grateful for in our lives that starting off isn't the hard part. It's easy to say thank you, but slightly more challenging to truly recognize the gifts that we have been given, and even more difficult to fully appreciate them. It's harder still to do all of this in the right moment, because most of the time, we don't even know what the right moment is. As Andy from the office says, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." But at La Lu, we received the opportunity to feel that gratitude every single day. We started out every morning surrounded by our peers, announcements, prayers, Friday funnies, and endless clapping, even if they tried to stop us. If we had just paused any morning meeting and taken a moment to reflect on the blessings that were all around us, then I think we would have realized we were in those good old days. At La Lu, we were allowed countless opportunities to enjoy a completely incredible high school experience. Some, like our class trips and orientation and head cup activities and required sports, we got to appreciate altogether. Others, like trips to Nicaragua and Prague and Cedar Point and New York, gave us a chance to bond more closely with smaller subsets of our class. I remember all of these moments and experiences most fondly of anything over the last 4 years, and I could not be more appreciative of the people who made them so great. But still, even though our La Lu days are behind us, we still will have more of these experiences, good new days, if we can learn to appreciate them. These days and years to come will not be like those that we enjoyed here. They will stretch us outside of ourselves and challenge us to continue being those best versions of ourselves that we sought to become at La Lu. My hope for all of us is that we don't take these for granted, and I'd like for us to try one small thing that may sound a little bit familiar to help us in that area. Designate 5 minutes of every day to reflect on 3 things from the day for which you are grateful, then write them down. If every day seems like too much to handle, try once a week. It doesn't take a long time, but I think that it will help us appreciate our blessings in the moment so that we can later record them. I've done this after Mr. Kronk introduced the idea during a chapel period, and I found that I always had something that I wanted to write down. Even when I thought I was having the worst day or even just the most boring one, there was always a bright spot in the day when I looked for it. I hope that all of you will look for that bright spot because it will always be there. One of the recurring bright spots of my life is a funny catchphrase that I often used to hear uttered by my father. Is that what they're teaching you at Lumiere? He would jokingly ask this of one of my older siblings, all alumni of LaLu, if they made a foolish mistake while speaking. And we would all laugh because, of course, Lumiere was teaching us better things than that and has never stopped. After experiencing 4 unforgettable years at the school myself, I can attest to the value of the investment of Lumiere. What they've been teaching us is not how to mess up, as my dad often joked, but rather how to be the best women and men that we can be. From here, it's up to us, but I know that we can all set the world ablaze. Thank you.
Great job, Annabelle.
Thank you, Annabelle. I'm grateful for the service you've given our school as head prefect. And as the 5th of 7 Lake children to grace the halls here, you've done more than measure up. You've distinguished yourself. Our next speaker is the consummate Renaissance man. Nicholas Pierce, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, holds a chemical engineering degree from MIT, as well as master's and doctorate degrees from the Kellogg School at Northwestern, where he's an award-winning professor. He serves as associate pastor of the legendary Apostolic Church of God in Chicago. He's founder and CEO of a global executive advisory consultancy. And he just last month had a national launch for the publication of a book he wrote called The Purpose Path, a guide to pursuing your authentic life's work. Something stood out to me right away while reading his book. His use of the term vocational courage. That strikes me as a powerful concept. First, at a school like ours, it's only appropriate that we talk about the launching of your careers as a calling to significance, something beyond success, involving the use of your God-given talents in a project that's well beyond self-advancement. Second, courage is necessary. Boldness, imagination, willingness to go against the grain. These are all required of each of you in this pursuit, as they are in anything worth doing. We're fortunate to be able to have someone deliver a message today that's such a good fit for what we stand for here. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a warm Lumiere welcome to Dr. Nicholas Pierce.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's good to be in your company. I am grateful to the head and assistant heads of school, to the chair of the Board of Trustees and her fellow trustees who are here on the platform, to the faculty of this school, and certainly to the class of 2019. It is a joy to be here. However, I am under no illusion that you have not come to hear a long poetic treatise on the meaning of life. You are here to graduate, and your parents and grandparents and fellow community members and family members are here to celebrate you. So my remarks will be appropriately brief. Annabelle has already laid out what you need to know, and Mr. Kronk has given you all a good excerpt from my book, which I hope will leave you with something substantive, so I bid you good day. But before I do, I'd like to just leave you with a couple of thoughts. You all are graduating today from a school that stands for not only scholarship, but the formation of your character and your faith. And you all are getting ready to launch out far, far from home. Some of you all are already far from home. But many of you all are going to be going even farther from home than you ever imagined. And it is so critical that you remember who you are and not let where you're going to cause you to forget where you've come from. As was mentioned, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, a place that in the news you would probably think had no capability to raise anyone except a criminal, if that person were blessed enough to survive. But the reality is the south side of Chicago is not the caricature that we see in the national and local news media. And it is important for me standing here to be able to say to each of you, not as an apologetic for the south side of Chicago, but certainly as a representative, that there is no secret what God can do. God is able to make more of your life than you think can be made of it. And I am certain that many of you all have overcome formidable odds to be in the place where you are today. Some of you all with these honor cords around your necks, right? Graduating with high honors, summa cum laude, magna cum laude. Some of you all are just graduating, thank you, Lordy. And that is fine as well. The point is you made it. And this is called a commencement. This is not a destination. Commencement means to begin, which means that instead of a destination, this is a doorway. It's a doorway. This is a launching pad. This is a beginning. And my encouragement to you is to use this beginning to not just pursue what other people want you to think of as success. Many of you will be caught up in thinking about what you're going to study in college or in university, what you want to be when you grow up. How can I achieve the greatest financial success? How can I achieve the greatest title or most prestigious role? How can I be successful in ways that other people count success? But I'm here to tell you from just a few years into your future that many of us can go after things that other people consider success, and we can score many points on the scorecards that other people give to us. But there comes a moment when you look in the mirror and you recognize that you have scored nothing on the scorecard of your own soul. My encouragement to you is to not just go from this place and be successful, but to be clear on how you can be a success. Being successful is fleeting, but being a success, living a life of significance, where your values and your actions align, that will be far more significant and far more enduring. My encouragement to you is to use this next chapter of your education as not just preparatory for a great career, but to use this next chapter as preparation for your calling. The word career comes from a French word meaning racetrack. Any of you guys run track? Any of you guys play sports? All right? I ran track when I was in high school. Ran the 4x400 meter relay. And to this day, I still cannot run a race again. Not because I'm injured, but because there is something that just won't allow me to start in point A, run in a circle, and finish in that exact same spot. That just doesn't work for me psychologically. I need to score some points. I need some progress. I need some movement. And many people's careers, if you ask your parents and your loved ones, some of their careers resemble that racetrack where they felt like they spent their lives, the best years of their lives, scoring for other people but not making any progress. I would encourage you to instead think about calling. What is your life's work? What is the work you can't not do with your life? What is it that you want your life to stand for? You say, well, I'm a teenager. Like, that's a big question. And I'm not sure. And that's okay. Use this next chapter to discover it and let what you study in your next chapter of education prepare your hands and prepare your heart for what you're led to do with your life. That's my hope for you, that you won't abandon your character along the way, but that you'll run your race well, that you will do your school proud, that you'll do your parents proud, that you'll do your communities proud. That is the essence of life. Service is the rent we pay to be here. And just because you will now have a diploma from a wonderful school like Lalu does not mean that you're better than someone else. You want to be better than who you were yesterday, not better than someone else. This diploma will afford you great privilege, but this diploma also comes with great responsibility. And so it is on behalf of your parents and faculty and other people who are cheering in the grandstands that we salute you for all you've done to this point, but we know that the best is yet to come. Congratulations to the class of 2019.
Bullseye. Thank you, Dr. Pierce. Last night we presented the Lumiere Medal to each of our graduating seniors. I explained then that it's a tradition that goes back to the very first class here, and it signifies not a requirement that they've met or a credential they've earned, but that they are now and always will be family. It is also a custom, although not done every year, that at graduation, we award this same medal to a member of the Lumiere community whose contribution to this place is worthy of special recognition. Cindy Heffron, would you join me on stage? Okay, now, I know for a fact that Cindy is extremely irritated with me right now. And the handful of people with whom I consulted on selecting her warned me that she would be upset by being recognized. So the first thing I'll do is apologize, Cindy. But as I mentioned at Convocation last week, part of the value of awards is the power of example. And your example is indeed a powerful one. For almost 2 decades now, Cindy has served as a dorm parent here at Lumiere. That means that she's been part of thousands of little moments, course corrections, nudges, challenges, and conversations that have shaped hundreds of young people who have boarded in her dorm. Character is forged over the long arc of a student's life at Lumiere, and Cindy has been absolutely crucial in charting the course of that journey for so many of our graduates. On top of that, we recently added a few key responsibilities to Cindy's plate, from overseeing the library to testing accommodations to taking attendance and chasing folks down at various times of day. These tasks have 2 things in common. They help keep our community safe, and they are often thankless. And one more important thing to acknowledge about Cindy. Being the spouse of an administrator at a boarding school is its own full-time, unpaid obligation. The amount of things you show up at or cover for as Mike gets called away is mind-boggling. Train runs in the middle of the night, navigating power outages, checking road conditions during winter weather. You name it, the Heffron family is involved in it. And when you live where you work, there is quite literally no escaping. Cindy, from the caring environment you create in your dorm to the myriad ways you help keep our community on track, Your tireless service to La Lumiere is an example to us all of what commitment is all about. On behalf of not only the entire school community gathered here today, but also those who are out there in the world having benefited from all you've done, thank you. All right, let's hand out some diplomas. Mr. Hoyt, the podium is yours.
Head of School, Mr. Kronk, and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Connie Falcone, La Lumiere Class of 1983, will now present the diplomas to the graduating class of 2019. Please feel free to cheer when a name is called. Masa Hiam Alani. Sabrina Ali. Keon Lee Brooks, Jr. Jillian Marie Budis. Molly Linen Capeless. Trevor Odell Carey. In absentia, Destiny Siobhan Chapman. Julia Flores Coelho. Gerald Maurice Drumgool, Jr. Kathleen Emily Eversole. Matthew Devers Falcone. Logan Axel Funderburg. Josie Lane Futrell. Megan Eleanor Gosselin. Nicholas Hadrian Nadinger. Christian Jacob Grandfield. Guo Buochuan. Haley Catherine Harkness. John August Charles Hendricks. Nolan Mackenzie Howard. Laylee Jelinas. Sasha Jelinas. Elaine Eleanor Jensen. Jasmine Khalil. Yakov Kukic. Annabelle Kiara Lake. Hannah Kaylee LeCount. Lee Zhuo Hao. Lu Uankwu. Tucker Charles McGill. Gavin Michael Mashmeyer. Thomas Paul McDonnell. Quinn Alexander Moulter. Jacqueline Joan Mullins. Jude Gabriel Nelson. Elias Maxwell Newman. Kai Nguyen Lu. Alexis Nicole Novak. Dylan Reese Palfy. Ashiana Samir Patel. Amir Haitham Rafai. Benjamin Lloyd Ruskowski. Jessica Ann Schaub. Francis Edward Smith. Savannah Linnell Starr. Isaiah Della Stewart II. Alexis Brooke Surma. Amelia Ray Surma. Tao Yia. Julian Trejo Bax. Natalia Trejo Bax. Alex Gregory Turner. Henry Cullen Visconsi. Wang Long Fei. Wang Yi. Safia Abena Webster. Mitchell John Willis. Paxson Walter Wojcik. Catherine Sullivan Yemps. Zhang Chuengcuan. Zhao Yeqian. Zhu Yelin. It's my honor now to present to you the class of 2019.
All right, if you'll sit down just for about 30 more seconds, and we'll get out of here. We focused on 3 themes as a school throughout the year, and no educator passes up an opportunity to review the main points at the end of a lesson. So one last time, we seek the light in one another. As you head out from here and encounter new people, remember that every single one of them has literally the exact same worth and dignity as you. Sometimes it takes a little effort to acknowledge and act on this. Do it anyway. You'll both be better off for it. Second, we're here to get better. It's easy to say this one, especially in high school. But carry this mantra with you, not just to college, but into your careers, your relationships, and all that you do. Remember that feedback from others is a key ingredient in this process. Be open to it. Seek it out. Take it to heart. Getting better is, more often than not, a grind. The alternative is complacency, which I wouldn't wish upon any of you. And finally, third, say it with me, bring your own Doritos. You've done this beautifully this year, demonstrating a sense of ownership and contributing in your own way to make this school the one you want it to be. Don't stop. When you go put down roots in a new community, buy in. Make it yours. Remember that describing what's wrong in a situation is the easy part. Doing something about it is harder. But join in. Give it a shot. Ask more of yourselves and of those around you, just like you did here. You may find it's a little harder in a different, most likely bigger community, and it will be daunting to start from scratch. But be the catalyst anyway. You've seen firsthand what's possible when you put yourself out there. Your La Lumiere family will be here, cheering you on every step of the way. Class of 2019, represent us well.
I often share at graduation just one little line or a prayer or something, and I've been thinking about this class and this group and this community, and there's a line from St. Paul's letter to the Philippians 4:15. 13. You should write it on your hand or your wall. It says, I can do all things through him who empowers me. You can and you will. Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the successes experienced. We thank you for the joy you give us. We thank you for the wisdom shared. And we ask you today to bless abundantly these graduates and their families. Let them always know, dear Lord, your love. Let them bring your love and your light into the world. Allow them to be aware of our love, Lord, and help us to live together as people who strive to make this world a better place. Bless us, bless our day, bless our celebrations. This we ask in your holy name.